Hello, it's John Heaton, and this evening I'm going to be reviewing a Ringo album. Thought it was about time. I've had a request to do Goodnight Vienna, and I'm going to do that one shortly, I think. And I also wanted to do Bo Coops of Blues and Ringo the Fourth and Time Takes Time and Bad Boy. But today I'm going to review this one, which is the 1976 album from Ringo, released 17th September 76 on the Polydor label. And this is actually a German pressing on the Polydor label, as you can see. I think it was signed to Atlantic in the US and Polydor in Europe. It's got the words and the musician credits on it, as it did the previous two albums. And then, interesting back cover, this is the door, which used to be the front door of Savile Row, number 3 Savile Row, the Beatles headquarter. And Ringo took the graffitied door and put it on the back of his album. And actually this album originally featured a magnifying glass, which you could use to read the graffiti on the back. And to this day I've never seen a copy with the original magnifying glass. I guess it would be quite easy for people to pretend to put in a sort of fake magnifying glass and fool the fans, but I've never even seen that. I don't know if any of you guys have got the original magnifying glass, but it would be interesting to see. I have another copy of this. I picked this one up in Budapest quite recently. This is my original copy, which is an English Polydor pressing, but it had a rather annoying hole going all the way through. For no reason at all that I could see anyway. So, to the album. I have a soft spot for this album. It's a very warm album. And, it wasn't too well received, and I don't think in the UK it charted at all. I think in the US it got to number 28. And the single, A Dose of Rock and Roll, got to number 26 in the US and didn't chart in the UK. So that I think by 76 the Beatles' star was beginning to fade a little bit, and it was only really Paul who was having continued success in the charts, and John had started his 5-year sabbatical as well. So what else can we say about this album? Yeah, Carr and Tyler, in their amusing fashion, so this could have been virtually any pleasantly anonymous disco LP, recorded by anyone at all, backed by anyone at all, and featuring songs written by anyone at all. I don't agree. I've got a soft spot, as I said, for this album because it's the last album which features all 4 Beatles on it, although George doesn't actually play on it. He did donate a song, as we'll come to. John plays on one track, Paul plays on another. So the last album before John died to have featured all 4 in name and 3 of them performing. So almost as exciting as the Ringo album in that respect. So to the songs, I think it opens very strongly with a song, not a very famous song, written by Carl Grossman, I think. A Dose of Rock and Roll, very catchy, and as I say, this was the single, although it was originally supposed to be You Don't Know Me At All. So Ringo had filmed a video for You Don't Know Me At All, and then they changed their minds in the US and the UK and put out A Dose of Rock and Roll, but unfortunately Ringo either couldn't be bothered or didn't get round to making a video for it, which is a shame because it would have helped the single chart-wise for sure. I find it a very enjoyable track. If your mama don't feel good and your daddy doesn't feel so good, take a dose of rock and roll, wash it down with good clean soul. Very fun track. Great guitar solo from Peter Frampton on this. And then the next track was the second single, Hey Baby, the old hit from 1962. And I think Ringo does a nice version of this. Carr and Tyler, of course, slag it off, brassy competence and careful layering succeed. only in eliminating the lazy-lidded charm of the original or something. So I like the song and I like the video, which I pointed out in my top 10 promos video, solo promos the other day. It's a fun video. And then we come to great drumming from Jim and Ringo as well, Jim Keltner and Ringo on this one. Then we come to the Paul song Pure Gold, which is kind of sentimental ballad in the same way that 6 O'Clock was on the Ringo album. I love it. Paul and Linda are supplying backing vocals, and it's in Ringo's vocal range and sung very well. Crying is a self-penned number from Ringo and his mate Vinnie Poncia, and I think it's one of Ringo's best compositions of his career. I think it's a very moving song, probably autobiographical, because Ringo had recently got divorced from Maureen. By the way, you won't hear Ringo talk about this period in general at all these days. Kind of dismisses it because he was living a wild lifestyle, and I think for various reasons he prefers not to talk about those days. So it's a shame. So for example, this album hasn't been re-released on CD with any bonus material or anything. But side one closes very strongly with You Don't Know Me At All, which is a cover song, but again, you can call it anonymous disco if you like, but it's enjoyable. And the video is hilarious, so check it out. So side one, very strong. And again, as is quite often the case, side two doesn't quite match the quality of side one. So it starts off with a John Lennon track, Cooking. And despite the fact John is playing, pretty groovy piano on this track, it's not one of John's stronger ones, should we say? You could see why he gave it to Ringo, but it's not as good as the other songs he'd given to Ringo previously, like I'm the Greatest and Good Night Vienna. It's quite enjoyable. It's not bad. By the way, nice pictures in the middle here. You can see Paul and Linda, Eric Clapton, John Lennon, Harry Nilsson, all his mates who turned up, and the theme of these pictures seems to be they're all eating food, so almost like these are stills from a video, a hypothetical video of cooking, which wasn't a single, probably shouldn't have been a single. Don't think it's commercial enough. But not a bad track. And then we come to George's track, I'll Still Love You. And this was originally, he tried to record it with Ronnie Spector and it failed, and then he tried it again with Cilla Black and it failed. And it's a beautiful melody, and Ringo said, well, no one else is using it, so he asked George if he could use it, and then George said okay. And then apparently George didn't like the arrangement and sued Ringo. But to this day, I can't work out whether that was, if that is seriously the case, that's pretty sad, or whether it was some kind of joke, like a Ruttles type joke, suing him, pretending to sue him. I don't know, because there's nothing wrong with the arrangement. It's got the guy, the ex-Apple artist, playing the guitar solo, Lon Van Eaton. By the way, Klaus Voormann is faithfully playing bass on this album, as he does on most Harrison and Lennon solo efforts as well. Brilliant. Eric Clapton's next with a number called This Be Called a Song, where he contributes. It's not much of a song, to be honest, but it's got a nice lick and some nice grooves in it and very well played, and some tasty guitar in the middle from Eric. Might have been a reject from the No Reason to Cry album, which Eric was recording the same year. I don't know if he ever tried. I've never heard a version of Eric singing it. It's kind of throwaway, but it's fun. I like it. And then we have Las Brisas, which is using a Mexican band which Ringo stumbled upon in some Mexican restaurant, and he asked them to come to the studio, and they do a good job. And this song is written by Andrew Starkey, brackets alphabetically, which is Nancy Andrews, who Ringo was going out with at the time, and Richard Starkey, and it's another very nice song. I'm up there with Crying as two of his finest compositions, and a nice arrangement, and I like it. And then we get Lady Gay, which is credited to Vinnie Poncia, Richard Starkey and Clifford T. Ward. And Harry Nilsson's very distinctive backing vocals is on this track, great. And nice melody, and it closes the album pretty strongly. And then there's a bit of sort of weird sound effects at the end, with Ringo saying that's where the album ends, and some deep voice saying, "Come up to my room." Spooky weirdness. It's kind of a strange way to close the album. But as I say, the album, side 2 closes pretty strongly, and side 1 is pretty first rate. So I'm going to give this album an 8.5 out of 10. He was to do worse than this by far over the years, and this was his last sort of semi-great album until Time Takes Time, in my opinion, from '92. That was. Okay, thank you for watching. See you next time.